Hey everybody, I'm Master Gardener Bernie Delaney back with another edition of It's Not Work, It's Fun. I'm working on a tube of Gorilla Glue because I had a problem in the last episode. I had a problem with my sprayer where it wouldn't hold air anymore. And as I've said many times, even when I was Master Gardener to Wisconsin Public Radio, and that was quite a few years ago, got to get the glue off of here. This is Gorilla Glue that dries on, sticks to anything. I want to try to get it to be used on the little plastic ring that's in the bottom of this container right here, okay? Here, let me bring this over here. It's the sprayer that it didn't work after a while. It worked a slow amount of time. And I want to make sure that I can fix that because I'm going to try to get some of this stuff out of here. Now, this is Gorilla Glue, and it does have a pretty long shelf life. However, let's see if some of this is going to work. I'm going to put this down. Now, what you're seeing is a different part of the property. And the first shot that you saw was a big, huge cucumber plant in a great big, huge pot. And I have another huge pot right down here, but it doesn't really have a big plant in it. It's possibly something that I bought a long time ago. And I don't even know what was in it before. There's a tag on here. I didn't spend that much. I'm going to take that tag off because I have not used this. I'll show you what this pot is for a while. You can have little fancy setups like this if you want. You can have a nice thing like this on your patio or whatever. A nice big pot like this. Like I said, I don't even know what was in here. Maybe I just bought the pot. See if this Gorilla Glue is going to come out here. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I'll get it. Eventually I'll get it. Anyway, I'm going to put that down. And I got some other products here too. I've said many, many times that we spent a lot of time on Grandma and Grandpa's farm back in Iowa when we were kids. And my grandma is where I learned to identify plants and know how that was the first. My dad was pretty good too. But I also took a lot of courses at the university, my alma mater, University of Wisconsin-Platteville, in Platteville, Wisconsin. And what happened was I got my Master Gardener certificate back in there, and I basically have been able to use it. This is what I call a utility knife here. You take the hardened glue and you get it out of there somehow. I don't know if this is going to come out. Hopefully it will. But at any rate, you use what's at your fingertips. That's the motto that we learned. That's the lessons that we learned back on Grandma and Grandpa's farm. And did everybody pick up? Well, okay, the glue's starting to come out now, so I don't really want to get it on my knife. This is a corkscrew, by the way. This is one of those multi-use knives. Do I use all of it? You can tell it's kind of old. It's pretty faded. I've had it for a while. Okay, let's get that in there, just like that. It's coming out on the tip, so I don't really want it on the tip. So I'm going to see if I can get some of this to come out. Can I get some of this? Oh yeah, okay. You use what's at your fingertips, and if you bought way back then, you got to remember, folks, back in the 30s and the 40s, even earlier, and even maybe the 50s, there weren't these great big huge shopping centers. There weren't the kind that people can just go to. Walmart wasn't around in many parts of the country. And I'm like anybody else. I go to Walmart, I shop. I do what I can. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. I'm going to get a little something else out here. Okay. I want to be able to put that on the black piece of plastic that I have. I don't know if this is going to come out or not. Yeah, it wants to come out. Gotta have some strong fingers to get this little sucker out of here. See if I can get this out maybe using this plastic knife. Okay. Alrighty. Like for instance, if you were doing dishes and your roses needed to be watered, you might take the dishwater from the roses and you might go water the dish, even if the dishwater is kind of greasy. Mostly it'll be dirty, maybe not greasy. You're going to want to take that water and you're not, you know, instead of using the pump and paying for the water, you might just dump the water, or like maybe from a kettle boiling on the stove. Some of it's coming out, some of it isn't. Okay, we'll keep working at it. At any rate, the problem is that you may not have all the water that you need. Say you boiled a big pot of potatoes. Well, you might let that water cool off and save it and go dump it on your garden plants or use it for your house plants. My grandma did that all the time. And the real fact is that sometimes that's the only water that you could spare to use for your plants, okay? So at any rate, this doesn't want to come out of here so easily, but that's okay. It's a good excuse for me to see what else I got on here because there we go. I don't have any other tool out here. I'm going to stick this in here. I'll just have to wipe that out. Okay, that broke. There's a little bit on there, but that's okay. There's not too much on there. All right. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I got to do this real carefully, folks. Try not to get any on my fingers because Gorilla Glue will stick to your fingers. You don't want to do that. I should have taken a long nail, but I didn't. At any rate, what's going to happen is I'm going to try to get some of this stuff around this little black thing here. Like I said, you got to use what's at your fingertips because sometimes you don't always have the money to go out and buy. Only a little bit's coming out there. I'm going to save this for a little bit later here. But at any rate, you get the idea. Let's try this again. No, it's definitely freed up. Oh, there it is. It's coming out right on that. Okay. So at any rate, the reason this didn't work, this particular thing didn't work, is because it wasn't strong enough to stay in that. It wasn't strong enough to stay in the bottom, which is this right here. Okay, this came out, it just blew out with the pressure. It went like this, and the whole thing blew out. What I want to do is I'll stick that back in there, but I also want to get some glue in there and let it dry and let it set. Now, if this doesn't work, I'm getting the glue out, however, it's not coming out very fast. That's what Gorilla Glue does. It doesn't come out very fast. And of course, yeah, you can buy this in a whole bunch of different places. You can get Gorilla Glue. Like, boy, it's coming out, but it's coming out real slow. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna put this like this. I want to get the Gorilla Glue, and I want to put it right on the inside here. So when I put this back in, it glues and it stays, and then I'll have the pressure. Because I believe in fixing up the stuff that I have. I buy something, I spend my good hard-earned money for it, and it breaks right away. Some people will say, oh, okay, well, I'll just take that back to the store, get my money back. Well, in this case, they didn't have any of those left. They didn't have any of these particular containers left. I didn't just get my money back. I want to try to fix it and make it work. In the meantime, I did buy a new one, and it's right here. Again, this is using what's at your fingertips. This is a brand new sprayer, and the kit to fix a sprayer is twice as much as buying a brand new sprayer. Okay, I've got a lot of these. They're called Chapins, and this is brand new. You unlock it. You can hear the pressure already. I don't have any water in here or anything, but one of the things you want to do, and I did this in the store too, is you want to lock this handle in and then turn it. Okay. Okay, there's pressure there. Turn it real hard until it clicks, and then it's screwed in there. Then what you do is you unlock it. Okay, and then you got the sprayer part. Okay, then you got that part. And of course what you do is you take this out. And I kept this in there because I just wanted to show people how you put these things together in case, you know, you're a beginner gardener. And this is how this works. Do they have a warranty on them? Not so much. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to use this and get this out of the way. That goes down in there like that. You gotta stick that all the way down in there. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, something's not right here. This has got to go all the way down. Actually, I haven't done this for quite a while. I'm not going to spray anything now, but you got to make sure this is secure. You push it all the way down in there like that. Now, if these parts, well, you got to push it down in there harder than that. If they do wear out, make sure that's down in there. Push it down there so it's nice and snug, and then you screw this on. Okay. I purposely didn't put any water in here because I didn't really want to be picking it up when it was heavy. But you'll be able to hear. You can hear the action. If I put water in there, it'll spray. And here's your nozzle control right here. You can hear that. Okay, so that's it for that. Put this down here like this. You can pick it up like this, folks. You can do that. However, it's really not good for the sprayer. You need to lock it in. It locks in either one way or the other, like that. Clicks that way, then you can pick it up like that. It locks clockwise, and then you got to go counterclockwise, like that, to pump it. Okay. So at any rate, this I am still going to fix. I'll get this glue out of here one way or another. I don't know if it's going to come out, and it doesn't really matter to me if I get it fixed right now. But you'll see the finished product. Glue is kind of stubborn. I've used this tube many times, a lot of different things. And it's the old adage that I still go by. And even though I'm a senior citizen and started off with nothing, it's coming really slow though. At any rate, I believe in using what's at my fingertips. All right, I'm not going to use this anymore. I'm going to peel this glue that I got on there off of here. I really don't want it on there because it doesn't make for smooth getting it in, getting it out. And as I said, I was taught to use what was at my fingertips. Okay. Now, if the farmer, and there was a lot of people on farms way back when that didn't have the money to buy fertilizer. They used the stuff, the excrement that came out of cows. Okay, they used cow, they used sheep. Some people did use pig. However, I didn't hear of too many people using those. I didn't the excrement from pigs. That cow was bigger and in many ways easier to handle. So at any rate, what happened was they used what was at their fingertips, and the fingertips, cows left the big piles around, and they did what they needed to do to keep going, to survive. Now that's kind of what we did too. I know you can't see a lot of this. One of these days we'll do an episode right from my boulevard, and I'll show you what it looks like now, but what it looked like 40 some years ago was not even close to what it looks like now. Okay, so I have some products here. I got, now, in the beginning you saw some pictures. You saw a picture of a big, huge cucumber plant in a big pot with a tomato cage taped to and wired to the pot because the cucumbers have to have some place to go. Now, do I have enough land to have a lot of gardens? Yeah, absolutely. But I've had so much trouble with people coming around damaging the stuff and stealing the stuff. Never mind the four-legged critters. I don't care about them. They come in here, they eat, they get their fill. They're going to do that. That's what they're meant to do. They're looking for food. I don't blame them. The two-legged critters, yeah, I really don't like them, and I don't appreciate anything about it, okay? So what I'm talking about is I had to kind of do gardening plants in big pots. And sorry to say, the sweet corn that I got all eaten off by the deer. They found what they wanted, and they got it all there was about a dozen stalks there. It was enough to show you what I was talking about. Now I can't because they're eaten down by the deer. They looked really good before they ate them. At any rate, I had to put plants, and I've done episodes, and the thousands of episodes that I've done, I've had to do all kinds of different plants in big pots because some people don't have any room for gardens. They don't have any garden space. Some people don't have any room for, they don't have any lawns. So they got balconies and they've got big pots and plants in pots, maybe in their apartment, and maybe they don't have a house. Maybe they don't have time for a big garden and they just want to do a couple of plants on their patio, or maybe their yard is really, really small and it's the size of a shoebox maybe. Now, in my history of gardening, I have helped several different community gardens get started. One of them here in Wausau was 8 big churches. And I'm talking about really huge churches with a lot of people going to them. They wanted to start the Faith Community Gardens. It did end quite a few years ago now because the farmer who owned the land and let us use it for the gardens, he sold the land and the new owner would not permit us to do that. They put several houses on there. So that was it. That was the end of the 8 Faith Community Gardens. But we grew a lot of food, and I helped start all of it. Okay, I was in on the very beginning all the way to the end. And I helped take a lot of gardeners who were beginning gardeners and understand how to grow stuff, because they donated food to the Salvation Army and to a place here in the North Central area called Open Door. And a lot of the food church pantries donated their own food too. There's a bunch of Catholic churches. There was a Baptist church, um, two Episcopalians, I believe. And then, at any rate, we donate our church alone, and I won't say which one it was because you can watch them on Wausau Public Access TV. You can kind of, by watching them, you can figure out who they are. But there were 8 big churches, and our church alone, we donated. 1 year was 1,500 pounds of food to the Salvation Army, and then the next year was 14. Went down a little bit. Maybe there was some bad weather. I don't remember. Third year was, I think there was even a bigger year. I think there was 1,700 pounds. And that was just one church. That was just the one that I was associated with. And yes, I did help them start that. I was in on a bunch of garden community projects that Wausau Public School System started. And we got many, many, many different gardeners going to where they were growing their own food. So, and at any rate, that's something I really enjoyed doing. But I've had to do from time to time gardens in pots, and this really isn't a big. It's just these are petunias in here. I started my petunias from seed, and these are multicolors. There's a pink, a white, red, and I think a purple in here, and then this one right here. This is what we call an African flower, okay? This is not hardy enough, neither are petunias, to plant around here, keep them around here all winter long. I just put it in here because this is the size pot that a lot of people, they decide to grow their stuff in because maybe they don't have a yard, and maybe a lot of reasons. And at any rate, you can put it on a little planter. It's called a plant holder. It's down here. I just brought it out to let you see what what you can buy. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. This is really nothing special. I just thought I'd show you what's in here and what you can do. And I've showed the big pots. We showed the big cucumber plant, and then the big tomato plant, and then a project that I did for myself with a spirea bush. That was the one right back there. That was the third one. And then, of course, they're called, you saw like some purple lavender-like flowers in there. They're called Virginia harebells. And they actually do come from the state of Virginia, but they're hardy enough to grow around here, and they're perennial. So they got beautiful little flowers on them. And believe it or not, if you've got a whole big field of Virginia harebells, and they're from the harebell family, which is actually from foxglove, delphinium. They're cousins to the delphiniums. Delphiniums get a lot bigger than Virginia harebells, but they will attract little baby hummingbirds. And we do have a lot of hummingbirds around here too. Okay, so this is just an idea. This pot down here, it's just an idea that you can put stuff in. But what I used on the bottom, this is a bag of mulch, okay? I'm only going to lift this up a little bit. This brown mulch, you can see it. It was a damaged bag of mulch. And what I do a couple times throughout the summertime, the bags of mulch they have on sale. The damaged bags, they really mark them down because they can't really sell them as is, and they want to get rid of them. They don't want to take the loss, so they got to sell them for something. So this big bag of mulch, believe it or not, was filled almost up to the top. You can see that it was. I cut the top open, but it was actually all the way up to here, and I got it for a really way reduced price. It's just dark mulch. It's just lumber that they took shredded for different reasons, for building different things. They got little tiny pieces left, and they turn them into mulch, and they color them. They color them red, they color them green. They're sometimes black, sometimes yellow, sometimes brown, sometimes even blue. And they're sprayed with like food coloring, okay? It's not anything that's dangerous. Just a little bit of it. I don't have my garden gloves out here. I should, because I don't like picking this stuff up. This is what it looks like right here. And it's just lumber. It's mulch is lumber. Now I have real mulch from a real pine tree that was cut down way at the end of my land that I've been leveling for about the last 7 years, because it was huge. It was that violet is no longer huge. It's really down there now because I've used a lot of it up. And I put it around. The third plant that you saw was the spirea bush. It's a flowering bush, and the little Virginia harebells that grow. And then there's like a Asian lily that's behind it. I don't know if you can see that part, but it keeps down the weeds. And then I have a weed fabric underneath it. Now I showed you weed fabric in the last episode because that's what you can use around your plants if you want to get the weeds down. And this is just, before we end, this is just, it's called Knockout Roses. It's granular plant food. It's basically in little granular forms here. I've got it taped shut. And this is all it is. It almost looks like sand. And it's coated with, it's got magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt. And I'll show you a trick with used coffee grinds the next time and this stuff. Because believe it or not, this stuff right here, this magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts, that's what's in Miracle-Gro, believe it or not, along with food dye. Coffee grounds have several minerals in it. Believe it or not, you're putting minerals into your body. And one is, it's got a little bit of niacin in it, which plants actually need. And it's got some other things. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. Lecithin, it's got that in it. Plants actually need that. We need that. I'll show you a neat trick with that to get your roses to grow really, really, really well, because I have several roses around here. We've taken pictures of them, and they're just really amazing to look at. I've taken pictures of, now I have an internet buddy, and I won't say his name because everybody knows who this guy is. He's really, really famous. We text back and forth all the time, and the reason we do is because he texted me on his private line first and said, would you be interested in sharing your business, meaning this business, It's Not Work, It's Fun, with him? And I said yes. So the guy's helping me to grow, and I won't say who it is for a while because it's just not something I'm going to do, all right? So at any rate, I've got some beautiful roses that I want to show you, not in this episode, because I'm under a time limit for Wausau Public Access TV to kind of keep them right around 30 minutes, and I'm sure I'm kind of getting close to that time right now. Mr. Cameraman says, yep, oh, okay. Yeah, it's really close. I think I'll end it here. I want to talk a little bit more, I want to say a little bit more about the plants and the tomato plant that was in the big pot, because I've had trouble with thieves and destruction from people, and we think they know who they are. As a matter of fact, we do know who they are, and the only thing we can do is call the police and see if the cameras pick it up. That's a hint. See if the cameras can pick it up. There's a hint there, okay? So at any rate, the third one was the spirea bush, and then the fourth one was this big it's called a snowball hydrangea, which is hardy enough for up here in north central Wisconsin. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. Until next time, be green, and remember, it's not work, it's fun. You're having fun. Remember that, folks. Bye-bye.